Welcome to Mysteries Beyond, where we explore the unknown, the unexplained, and the unimaginable. I'm your host, Professor Elias Sterling, and today, we're diving into one of the most mind-bending concepts in modern science and philosophy, the multiverse. But before we begin, let me ask you this. What if everything you knew about reality, about existence itself, was just one of an infinite number of possibilities? What if, right now, there are countless versions of you, living out countless different lives, in countless different worlds? Intrigued? You should be. Stay with us as we explore the many worlds theory, and what it could mean for our understanding of the universe, and ourselves. Imagine, for a moment, that you are standing at a crossroads. Before you, paths stretch out in every direction, each one leading to a different future. As you take a step, one path becomes your reality. But what happens to the others? Do they simply disappear? Or do they continue on, branching out into new realities of their own? This is the essence of the many worlds interpretation of quantum mechanics, a theory that suggests every possible outcome of every decision, every event, every quantum fluctuation, actually happens in its own parallel universe. Now, this might sound like science fiction, but some of the greatest minds in physics take this idea seriously. And if they're right, it could mean that our universe is just one of many, existing side by side in a vast multiverse. But how can we even begin to understand such a mind-boggling idea? To do that, we have to start with the science. Let's talk about quantum mechanics. This branch of physics describes the strange and counterintuitive behavior of particles at the smallest scales of existence. In the quantum world, particles can exist in multiple states at once, a phenomenon known as superposition. But here's where it gets really strange. According to the many worlds interpretation, every time a quantum event occurs, the universe splits into multiple copies, one for each possible outcome. Imagine flipping a coin. In our everyday experience, the coin lands on either heads or tails. But in the quantum world, the coin doesn't simply land heads or tails. It lands heads and tails, at least until someone observes it. In that moment of observation, according to the many worlds theory, the universe splits. In one universe, the coin lands heads. In another, it lands tails. And these aren't just hypothetical possibilities. Each outcome is real, existing in its own parallel universe. But here's the kicker. These universes don't interact. They exist separately, like layers of a cake, stacked on top of one another. And yet, they are all part of the same cosmic reality. The implications of this are staggering. It means that there could be countless versions of you, living out different lives, making different choices, all in parallel worlds. It's a dizzying thought, isn't it? Now, let's dive deeper. Quantum mechanics isn't just about coins and particles. It's about the very fabric of reality. Take Schrödinger's cat, for example. A thought experiment where a cat is placed in a sealed box with a radioactive atom, a Geiger counter, and a vial of poison. According to quantum theory, until the box is opened, the cat is both alive and dead at the same time. It's only when an observer checks that reality chooses. In one universe, the cat lives. In another, it dies. This might sound absurd, but it's a cornerstone of quantum theory. And if the many worlds interpretation is correct, then every time such a quantum event happens, a new universe is born. But how can we ever know? Is there any way to detect these other worlds? Or are they forever beyond our reach? Here's where the mystery deepens. If these parallel universes exist, They might explain some of the most perplexing questions in science. Why is the universe so finely tuned for life? Why do we experience time as a single, linear progression? Could it be that in some other universe, the constants of nature are different, and life as we know it never evolved? Could there be universes where time flows backwards, or where entirely different laws of physics apply? These questions lead us into the realm of what's known as the anthropic principle, the idea that the universe appears fine-tuned for life because, in universes where it isn't, we wouldn't be here to observe it. But what if that's only part of the story? What if there are countless other universes? Some like ours, some drastically different, all existing simultaneously? Think about the implications. If the multiverse is real, then everything that could possibly happen does happen. Somewhere, there might be a universe where you chose a different career, married someone else, or never met your best friend. But, and here's where it gets even more intriguing, what if these other versions of you could somehow affect your life in this universe? What if the decisions you make are subtly influenced by the choices your other selves are making in parallel worlds? Consider this. Scientists have proposed that if parallel universes exist, they might sometimes interact, albeit in ways we don't yet understand. Could déjà vu, intuition, or inexplicable coincidences be glimpses into these other realities? Is it possible that the boundaries between universes are more fluid than we think? But what does all of this mean for us in our everyday lives? If the multiverse is real, does it make our lives less significant? Or does it elevate the importance of each moment? If every possible version of events plays out in some parallel world, what does that say about free will, fate, and the meaning of life? This brings us to some of the deepest philosophical questions humanity has ever grappled with. If there are infinite versions of us, does that diminish the value of the choices we make? Or does it mean that our actions are even more important, as they contribute to the infinite tapestry of reality? Some philosophers argue that the multiverse provides a solution to the problem of free will. In our universe, we might feel constrained by the choices we make. But in the multiverse, every choice is explored in some reality. Does this mean we are truly free? Or are we simply actors in a cosmic play, with every possible outcome already written in the stars? And what about morality? If every action we take is mirrored by an opposite action in another universe, does that mean there's a universe where every wrong is made right? Or does it mean that good and evil are relative, mere byproducts of the choices we make in a single reality? These are profound questions, and they don't have easy answers. But they invite us to think deeply about our place in the universe. Or should I say, in the multiverse? Are we just one version of ourselves? Or are we part of something much larger, much more complex than we can possibly imagine? This is where theology comes into the conversation. If we consider the possibility of a multiverse, how does it fit with our understanding of divine creation? In Islam, for instance, the concept of multiple worlds is not foreign. The Quran speaks of Allah as the Lord of the worlds, and Islamic scholars have long pondered the existence of different realms beyond our own. Let's explore the idea of multiple worlds through the lens of Islamic theology. The Quran often refers to Allah as Rabb al-Alamin, the Lord of the worlds. But what are these worlds? Are they simply different aspects of our universe? Or could they include parallel realities, unseen and unknown to us? In Islamic tradition, the world of humans is just one of many. There is also the world of jinn, beings created from smokeless fire, who live parallel to us but remain unseen. There is the world of angels, created from light, who fulfill the commands of Allah without question. And then there are the many heavens and realms mentioned in the Quran, each with its own purpose and inhabitants. These worlds exist simultaneously, yet they rarely intersect with our own. But what if they are part of a greater multiverse? One that encompasses not just our physical reality, but all possible realities? Could the jinn, for example, inhabit a parallel universe, one that occasionally overlaps with ours? Could the spiritual realm be another layer of the multiverse, one that is beyond the reach of science, but accessible through faith? Islamic scholars have long debated the nature of these worlds and their relationship to our own. Some interpretations suggest that the worlds mentioned in the Quran could be different dimensions or realities, each governed by its own set of laws. This idea resonates with the concept of the multiverse, where different universes exist side by side, each with its own unique properties. But the Quran also emphasizes the uniqueness of each world. Humans, jinn, and angels all have their own roles and responsibilities, and they are judged according to their deeds in their respective realms. This suggests that while the multiverse might contain countless realities, each one is distinct and significant in its own right. So, where does that leave us? Are we just one version of ourselves among infinite others? Or is there something special about our reality, our universe, that sets it apart? Could it be that the multiverse, if it exists, is a testament to the infinite creativity and power of the Creator? Or is it a reminder of the vastness of creation and our place within it? As we draw this episode to a close, we're left with more questions than answers. But that's the nature of exploring the unknown. It challenges us to think beyond the boundaries of what we know, to question the very fabric of reality. Whether we see the multiverse as a scientific theory, a philosophical puzzle, or a theological mystery, one thing is certain: it expands our understanding of the universe and our place within it. The idea of the multiverse invites us to consider possibilities we never imagined. It reminds us that the universe, or multiverse, is far more complex and wondrous than we can comprehend. It also invites us to reflect on our own lives, our choices, and the infinite potential that lies within us. So, the next time you find yourself at a crossroads, remember, there might be another you in another world taking a different path. And who knows? Perhaps one day, science will find a way to peer across the boundaries of these parallel universes. Until then, we're left to wonder, to imagine, and to explore the mysteries that lie just beyond the edge of what we know. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the multiverse. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe and share it with others who love diving deep into the mysteries of existence. I'm Professor Elias Sterling, and this has been Mysteries Beyond. Until next time, stay curious and keep questioning.